Lenin Ablak Gemara. Today's daf is daf Ayin Ches, and the last thing we learned about was an argument between Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira and the Chachamim. If 10 people lined up and each one, in succession, beat up someone, according to Chachamim, they are patur because it says kol. It says kol nefesh, which means you have to kill the entire person, not if each partner did a little share. And according to the Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, kol dehu nefesh, the person who poil snuffed out his life is the one who is responsible. We explained yesterday the crux of their argument, how we dash the word kol, and now we have a brisa that supports this argument or this interpretation. Says the Gemara, we are up to over here, Tani Tana, about right in the middle of the page. The first word of the line is Samani, about 20 lines from the top. Tani Tana Kamei de Rav Sheshes. So this is I'm going to learn the brisa before Rav Sheshes. It says V'ish ki yake kol nefesh adam. A person strikes a person. Lahavi hamake es chaverei. So that comes to include somebody strikes his friend, and the ain't by kedei lahamis. And you struck him, but it was just to hurt him, not to kill him. Ubo achar v'hemise, came along another person and actually killed him. Shehu chayiv. And the second person is chayiv. That's quite obvious, isn't it? If one guy hurt somebody, and the guy killed him, then obviously the guy who killed him is the murderer. Ain't by kedei lahamis. Pshita. If the first person, struck him and hurt him, and the blow that he gave couldn't kill him anyway, so then of course the second person is chayiv. And the chiddush is yesh by kedei lahamis. You gave him a blow that could have killed him, the one punch, what it was called, like a one punch blow, and you didn't kill him. And the next person just brought the next step, which means you did half the job already, and the next person just finished it off. Shehu chayiv, that the second person's chayiv does not follow the chachamim, because the chachamim hold that kol nefesh, whoever killed him had to be the one entirely responsible. So this must be he was stomach of Yudam Sedem. This brisa follows of Yudam Sedem. So now Rabbi is going to give us a whole bunch of dinim regarding a person who is a treifa. Treifa is somebody that has, like we learned before, has a hole in their esophagus, and there's a machlekes gemara chulim. We learn whether treifa chay or treifa ain't chay. Will a treifa actually live? Well, a treifa can live more than 12 months, or treifa ain't chay won't live more than 12 months. Taisa here tells us that even the opinion that says that treifa does live more than 12 months doesn't mean he'll live a normal life, still die prematurely, but not so quickly. Omar Rava says Rava, and there's an interesting Rishonim and other Gemaras where it says that this whole thing about treifa doesn't live more than 12 months is only regarding animals. Regarding a human being, they say that he'll live more because Adam yesh le mazel. We had a meeting more about Kama and other places that a person has like a malach, according to Rashi there, that protects him. So we have some kind of safeguard that helps us out. Says the Gemara, if somebody kills a person that is a treifa who is not going to live, it's like a dead man walking, potter, you are potter. You're potter. Why? Because you try to kill a dead person. But the treifa shaharag bifnei bezin. But if a treifa killed someone, chayiv depends. If he killed in front of the bezin, then you're chayiv. Why? Because the bezin, we know that like the bezin so they become the witnesses, as Taisus points out. We're talking about during the day, so they become the witnesses. Because we learned already in Rosh Hashanah and Baba Kama and other places that the bezin saw it at night. When Babasra, if the bezin saw it at night, when they cannot function as a bezin, then tomorrow they're just reporting an event. Then they become witnesses, and we'll soon see witnesses who saw a treifa kill. You can't bring the treifa to bezin. I don't see them in why not. So treifa if in front of bezin chay, but shalei b'fnei bezin potter. If you have to come and report it to a bezin, the treifa will not be put to trial. And why not? B'fnei bezin chay because it says you got to get rid of the bad, and there's a bad because you saw it with your own eyes. Why? Because we have a rule that Eidim, in order to as a check, you need checks and balances. In order to make sure that Eidim are telling the truth, if you want to make sure they're telling the truth, you need to make sure that they can be found liars. That's why they have to give us a date and a place, and exact time, be very accurate. But if you cannot prove to them being a liar, then there's no. If you cannot prove them being a liar, then there's no what do you call it? Then there's no Eidus here. So to have like Eidus Yatir Cholzima, the whole Eidus Yatir Cholzima, Lishma is not called Eidus. So therefore, a person who's a treifa who committed murder cannot be put to trial. V'amar Rava, continuing along the lines about a treifa, V'amar Rava says Rava, Rava, yes, a treifa. Rava says that if somebody is Rava, yeah, right, it sodomizes a treifa chayiv. What's the chiddush of that? Why should you just because the person the victim is a treifa? We'll see in a minute. Treifa sherava treifa sherava bifnei a treifa sherava. Again, a treifa we're in the last narrow line. Daf ayin ches amar aleph. We're talking about different din about a treifa, a person who is not going to live much longer, and therefore halachically we treat it as if the person is already a dead man walking. And that's what Tate says. Even according to the opinion that said that a treifa will live, but he still won't live forever. He'll live a lot less than he should have. His life will be cut short. Just we don't have that time limit of 12 months, and therefore we still halachically treat this person as if there's a dead man walking. So Amar Rabba Hareva is that if you sodomize a treifa chai, because the fact of the matter is the sodomizer is a normal person, so therefore he did an act that's chai misa. But treifa shrav, if the person that was reveya, the sodomizer was a treifa, so it depends. If they bezin in front of the bezin and during the day, so therefore the bezin themselves, they are the witnesses, and the bezin shaloi tehei shmiya gedola maria, listening to other people tell your story cannot be greater than you yourself saw it, then you chai. Why? Because it says you have to rid yourself of evil, of abomination. But if it wasn't in front of the bezin, so then you have to go to a bezin. And we have the problem that in order for edus to be proper edus, there has to be checks and balances. But here it's edus she'i ata yochel azima, because let's say it turns out to be we cannot be mazik because they were, let's say the edim were liars. So they try to kill a dead man. Just like we said before, if you kill a treifa, you are potter, so the angels are also a potter. B'fnei bezin chayv. So it says be'artu mikibecha. Shalei b'fnei bezin potter, davle edus yechazima. Because the Adam, even they're found to be liars, they tried to kill a treifa person. Even if you killed a treifa person, the din is you're a potter. So if they try to kill a treifa person, you're also potter. So it's Adam that you cannot ever prove to be. You cannot give them that punishment. So we're saying here the bezin here. It's been established. We don't need Eidish Yatzuchalism. So if the bezin is established, this guy is a treifa. Sorry, this guy committed whatever the aved is. So be out to Mikibecha. We don't have the problem of Eidish Yatzuchalism because there is no really. As traceable comments, there's also the Eidim, since it's the bezin themselves. Why ain't Eid Nasa Dayan? Why can't Eid become a Dayan? Because he will never accept Eid Zayman. He'll throw him out of court, never listen to him. Here, it's in a positive way. They'll never shaykh to be Eid Zayman. Isn't the principle the same between the case of reveya and the case of murder? A treifa person you kill. Treifa person, if the person, you're potter, and the same thing, the reveya, reveya. So the same principle. Same thing. No, the chiddush is hareveya is a treifa. The chiddush here is that the victim was a treifa. Why? If we halachically treat a treifa like a dead person, what is the din if somebody's roiveya a dead person? You're not chayiv. So maybe the roiveya, if somebody sodomizes a treifa, should be potter. Kamashalon, no. The whole Isra is because of the benefit that you get from it. Well, Islam, no. The roiveya in this case, even though the victim is a treifa, the reason a dead person, Rashi says, there's no warmth in the body. And over here, you still have enough. Furthermore, Eidim Sheidu betreifa, Eidim came along and testified about a treifa, and they said that this treifa committed this and this aveda. But who's more? These Eidim were found liars. Ain't rugging. They don't get killed. Why don't they get killed? Why don't they get killed? Because what did they try to do? They try to kill a treifa person, try to kill a dead man. So therefore, they don't get killed. Like I said before, if you kill a treifa, you're potter. But Eidei Treifa, the Eidim themselves were Treifa. Shehuzmu, that they were found liars, Neheragin, they get killed. Come along, Rashi says no. Afilu Eidei Treifa, Shehuzmu, Eineragin. The Rashi says even Eidei Treifa, that were found to be liars, they don't get killed. You know why? Remember, there's the Eidim Zayim come along and say Reuben killed someone. Right, and then come along a second group of Eidim and say to the first group of Eidim, how can you say blah 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 when you were with us somewhere else at the time? So what happens? The first group of Eidim will now get killed based on what they tried to do to this person. But since these Eidim are Eidei Treifa, they cannot be found liars because we won't kill them. They're dead people anyway. If a treifa person tries to kill somebody, what happens? If a treifa person kills someone, or the other way around. If you kill a treifa person, you are potter. And the zaym is okay. Reuven, set number one comes along and says Reuben killed somebody. Set number 2 says that Ruvain, how can you say that set number 3 comes along to set number 2 and says you try to kill the Aiden Zayman, you try to kill Aiden our Trafer. Since you try to kill Aiden Trafer, nothing happens to you. So therefore, there's no checks and balances. Checks and balances don't stop the first post; they go a second post as well. Let's talk about animals. And you would think, who cares about the show whether it's healthy or not? Or Treifa kills your chayiv. Adam Treifa Shaharag Potter. If the show itself a Treifa might not come in and kill somebody, you chayiv skill. But if the owner is a Treifa, you're a Potter. Why? You equate the animal to the owner. If the owner would have been in that position and did this particular act, he wouldn't have been killed. So if the owner in the same situation would have been punished, but the owner himself in this situation would not have happened. Like Karina, baby, don't say Rabbi Ashi goes a step further. I feel a straight treifa nami shahara. Rabbi Ashi goes, even the animal itself, the animal treifa, you don't kill. My potter. You know why? The same reason. Key when the lebailim, if the bailim themselves would have killed somebody, if the bailim is Havi Patida, yeah, he would have been potter. So Sharnami potter. The shade is also potter. So therefore, it's a question of how far we take the gam bailim. Try and remember the machlek is a shame to understand this whole gemara, and it just escaped my mind. And the nafka between the machlek is if a treifa person try to kill a treifa, if the two agent treifa try to mazim another treifa person, and I'm trying to somebody's trying to explain why Adam Zaymin try to kill a person. So why is it that we don't punish the agent? And this person is a treifa. They try to kill a treifa person. So why don't we? The fact that they try to kill somebody, so they say because you're punishing the Adam more. Oh, this is the Ram, I think, or somebody's trying. You're trying to punish the Aiden Zayim more than that person only had a year to live, and you cut it, and you were trying to kill him a year early. These Aiden might have had 20 years to live, 30 years to live, and no, normal case. If the svara is because they try to kill dead man, or the svara is Aiden Zayim have to be exactly kasha zamam. We'll learn right in the beginning. The makkahs, the whole place is there. You know, if they come along and say that this guy is a ben chalutza, ben grusha. What do you do with Eidim Zaim? Because if they're not kainim, or even if they are kainim, if you're going to make them into a ben chalutzin or a chalal, it's not fair because then their children become chalalim, and the ground you're making it worse than what they try to do to this one person. So you cannot have Eidim Zaim more than another person. So the not coming halach is if these Eidim Zaim themselves are treif. So if the reason why Eidim Zaim cannot be punished because they cannot get worse punishment than that person, they're getting exactly the same. They're a treifa, they won't live more than 12 months. That guy's a treifa. But if the word is you're trying to kill a dead man, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were a treifa or not. They were trying to kill another dead person, therefore they are pot. Yeah, okay. She said, "But yes, we had in the Mishnah. If you took, if you took a snake in your hand and you held it on somebody's hand, if you're responsible now. I can explain that Aras nochas, the venom of a snake is bein shilavoim. It's right there in the fall, right there between the teeth. It's there, open. Therefore, if you take that snake, it's like you're holding a spear with a very sharp edge, and you point to somebody. Saying here, the snake has already the venom there. So when you took the snake, you're the one who basically put it there. So you're the one who's chayiv, and the snake is nothing. That's there. Aras nochas ma'atzmo make it. No, the snake has to. It's somewhere. It's absorbed inside the snake, and he has to willingly spit it out. So you were just a goylem. It's the snake that produced the venom at the last second. It's amazing that you're arguing a mitzias. Where's the venom? I mean, you just have to open the snake and see. Anyway, so whether the snake was complicit or not. Mishnah. Whether you strike your friend, with a stone, with a fist. The and you assess that this person is going to die, and the vehicle, he recovered. The Mashahaya recovered, and they didn't look at him again, and they said, the guy looks like he'll live. And then that's how tomorrow he turned sour again, and he died. So according to the Chacham Chayiv, because he must have died from the first diagnosis or the first prognosis, and just to go recover. Sometimes a person who is who's dying gets a bit better for a short time and then relapses. And the Chemist says no. Potter. Should I climb the David? When you got health, when you gave him the second prognosis that he got healthier, you're not get healthier. You died now, something else, unrelated to what you did before. So they're arguing on pshat in the pasuk. As we'll see more later, but if they had to give a prognosis, this guy's going to live, and then the next day he died, everyone agrees that you're Potter. Because, like we had before in the Bezin, once the Bezin said Yotze Zakai, even if we have evidence tomorrow that he is guilty, once he's Zakai, we never bring him back. As it says in Pasuk, Im Yakum, this guy will stand up. He's halal b'chutz, and he walks outside. Al mishantoi on a stick. V'nika hamaka. So the v'nika hamaka. So and then what? Well, you must this guy. You shouldn't put this guy to death. Okay, if you take pshat, what's pshat? The guy lived. Why should you kill this guy here? Why would you tell you to tell you what? Don't kill that person that hit him. Of course, everything is good. So what's the puzzle trying to tell you? Then he tells you in the puzzle you have to pay Shebes, Aripa, and all that. But what's the puzzle trying to tell you? What do you have to say v'nika maka, which means that now the guy who did it is innocent. Obvious. Ella, you know what the pshat is? It's not so obvious. First, they says that this person is going to die. The victim will die. Then and then it got easier. The guy sort of got recovered or started to recover. It started mending. And then suddenly it turned dire again, and he died. And the Chiddush is Shu Potter. But Rabbanan who disagree, they say that it must have been a real. It's a continuation of the first thing. V'nika hamaka ma'doshe. So what's the pasuk mean that he's innocent? If they take the pasuk if he didn't kill the guy, then of course he's innocent. The concept of a prison that you put him in jail. You put a guy in jail. What do you mean put in jail? What's the purpose of the jail? The purpose of the jail is not to punish, but the jail is to hold him in a pen until we can determine what's going on. We're going to have later the concept of a jail where they put the guy in jail until he dies from hunger and whatever it is. But here the concept is to hold him till we determine the outcome. How does he know this idea of holding a guy in a pen? What do they do with Mekashish? It says they didn't know what to do, they didn't put him aside. But Abodinami Leilhim Mekashish Mekashish is clear, they put him in prison. What do you have to learn from here for? Mekashish Bak Tolu. No, Mekashish is different. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he deserved to die. The Navas, that's different. When you know the guy definitely deserves to die, you put him in prison to work out, till we find out exactly what sort of death. But if a guy, we don't know what his punishment is, who said you put him in prison? That's why you need this pasuk here. Big Machlek is in the Mefosher Torah. When the Mekashish happened, did it happen before Matan Torah or after Matan Torah? Like we look more back to the Kufchaf. That happened after Matan Torah, and he did it because after Ma'aseh Meraglim, and they thought they lost that soul. They thought, why we have to have Torah mitzvahs at all? So he went to prove to them, L'Shem Shemayim, that he did it for Torah mitzvahs. The Mashal famous question: if the Mekashish was Slavchot and he's such a big tzaddik, what right did he have to do Isa Deraisa? Who gave him the right to do Isa Deraisa? We had more Nazir that could do Lishma, but who gave him the right to go ahead to do a Malach on Shabbos? He's going to teach other people. So Mashal Mechadish that since he didn't want it for his purpose, it's a Malach Sheitich Lagufa. So Mahatayri didn't do an Aveda. He didn't want the wood that he chopped because he wanted to make a fire. He wanted the wood. He just wanted to show them that you're chayiv. So the gufa. No, but as far as the Bez is concerned, we don't know your cheshbainis. We can only Adam said, what they said. The Eibush knew the truth. But the problem with that pshat is the Eibush is the one who said what you should do with him. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do. The Eibush is the one who said. Now, if the Eibush knows that he's not chayiv, it's a little bit hard to say that. Anyway, but that's how you learn. So the big machlekes among Avram and the Turim Sadeshin in Hilchos Shabbos, very interesting machlekes. We couldn't that. I think it's in Shin. I'm not sure. I'm sure that where they argue what happens if you do a malacha she'ein tzich legufa, but you don't need it for any other purpose either. What is malacha tzich legufa? Is it because you have another purpose in mind? So that second purpose cancels the first one. For example, you're making a hole on Shabbos. The chiyuv is if you're making the hole because you want to store things there, like in the Mishkan, like Taisa says. But you don't want the hole for the hole. You want the hole because you want the sand. You want to make a sandbox. That's called the malacha she'ein tzich legufa. What happened? You don't want the hole and you don't want the sand. Nothing. So what's pshat malacha legufa? is the pshat. This is what Tumas Leshon learns. It's this. It's that kavanah to use the sand, which cancels the malacha part of it, and therefore it's only midrabanan. So in that case here, Slavcha didn't Isa the Raisa because he didn't want it for the Isa. He wanted for he didn't want for anything. So then it's back to malacha Gufa, and that's what Abisha had to agree that he had to get killed, and he made a mistake in his cheshbon. Mashagi the Ram learns it's not the new malacha that cancels out. It's not your kavanah that cancels out. It's just he didn't do what the way it's supposed to be done. The Mishkan and therefore Slavcha did not do an Avei L'Raisa. And that's the machlekes, whether it's because in Shabbos we had in Hatzniya, whether he was a tzaddik or not. Okay, telling about it further. So that's why prison there is different. But Nechemia, Yalla. So where did he can't learn from Mekoshes? So where did he learn prison from? The Megadif, the blasphemer. Also, and there, Laviyadi Baktolo, he didn't even know what to do with it. At least by Shabbat they knew. The Chavshu, and they put him in jail, the same thing, to wait to see what the outcome is. Rabban and Megadif Hayrashahay. That was different. Moshe Ben, own idea. Tanya, we learned, Yedea Moshe Ben Mekoshes Misa. Regarding Mekoshes, he knew that he gets to be killed. So now it's on the Chalal Moshumas. This is one of the proofs they bring that the story of Mekoshes happens after Matan Torah. And there doesn't know which one. So it says Ki Loy Paidish, it wasn't told exactly what the Mayasla, what you have to do with him. The Megadol had no idea what to do. It said, I'm putting in jail. Lifrish Lahem Api Hashem. He wanted to He wanted to know what to do. So he didn't know if he punished the guy or not. Says according to Nechemia, who learns to speak Chiddush, that if you gave him a prognosis, he'll die. And then the second prognosis is that he'll live, and then he dies. That he potted already. Then Heine the Chsibet says there's twice it says in the pasuk. In this pasuk it says Vanika Mak, and the pasuk before it says also that he didn't die. Okay, so you have two of them. What do you two of them? One is to teach you. They assess that he'll die. They said he's going to die. And he lived. So the question is, do we still kill you? He lived. So that's what Shemayim. According to Teva, the doctor said this guy is going to die. You ended up living. Maybe it's a miracle Shemayim, but you did an act that should have killed him. So for that alone, you should get punished. So the question is, do you get punished because of the outcome? You get punished of what? Of the poil or the nifl? You did an act that should have killed him. Clear. Novos, the Abish intervened and saved this person's life. So if murder, you're getting punished for the act of murder. You did an act of murder. Or no, the murder does not get punished until there's a chefta, a victim. So for that, we need a pasuk to tell you no. Even though, of course, it's for the act of murder, but we need to see an outcome. That's one pasuk. And the second one is second one is what we just said before. Prognosis was that he will die. Second prognosis was that he'll live. And what happens? El Rabban hold that the first prognosis will die and the second prognosis will live and then he dies. We go back to the first prognosis and therefore will kill you. So Rabban what's the two? The chaya and he lived, like we said before. They thought he'll die and then he turned out to living. The mess. What happened all the way around? The prognosis was that he lived and then he died. And yeah, but I'm the Nechemia. But I'm Nechemia. What's he going to say? I'm Nechemia. He said they said that he'll live and then he died. You only had pasuk zakai. So you want to say v'lo yamus me that didn't give him no the chum hold that he in that case the prognosis was that he's going to live and then he died. You're not chayv because something else happened. So I don't need a pasuk. It's like it's once the Bezdin maybe had before. Bezdin ruled the guy is innocent. Even if they have clear evidence afterwards, we'd never reconvene the Bezdin like double jeopardy. It said once double jeopardy is the other way around. Once you found the person guilty, whatever, you don't bring your court again. Here we say once you found the person innocent, we'll never bring it up. We'll never reopen the case. Talk be learned. There's no cold cases in this way. Talk be learned. Hamak is chaveda. You strike your friend. There's big machlekes are showing him in Nechemia. Okay, so they said he'll die, then he got better, and then he got worse again. So Nechemia says, nope, we don't kill him. Does he have to pay tzar ripu shevet l'boishes? Rashi says he has to pay that. Okay, the guy lived, but he was wounded, so you got to pay. And according to others, you don't have to pay in that particular case because he started off thinking that he's dying. When he's dying, you're going to be punished. There's no money at all. If a guy struck a friend and they assess that he'll die, and then he lived, he is potter, right? As we said before, he's potter. And the chiddush is that just because he did an act of misa, we're not going to punish for that. The misa. What happened? They measured that they says that he'll die. The hakel, they says that he'll die. The hakel, and then he got better. The mashahayu. So now he got better. So now we're going to say, that he what do you call it? He has to pay money now. The question is, it took a few days. And as he's getting better, every day that he's getting better, the costs of reparations is less and less and less. So do you pay the money for the day that you struck him, which then he's supposed to die, but he didn't. But then the medical bills and everything else is a lot worse, and the pain. Or now, when we did a second assessment, we do a second assessment money. And what happens if afterwards he got worse and he died? It goes after the middle assessment, which means we don't kill you anymore because we said that you're going to live. If he died afterwards, something else happened. Nothing to do with the other one. However, say no, that there's no Aymed Acher Aymed. We go back to the first Aymed, and if he's supposed to die, and then he sort of recovered a little bit, and then relapsed, it's the first Aymed. Second Aymed doesn't count. Well, yeah. Tanya, so that's exactly what we had before. Tanya, if let's say they assess that he is going to die, then we saw that he recovered. So we'll say that it doesn't matter that Bezin thought that he'll die, and means even the Bezin. It doesn't matter we thought that he's going to die, and we were ready to hold you in the pen. We're going to sentence you, but now that he lived, you go free, right? Like we said before. But if he was, let's say, assessed to live, we'll say what? We don't have no idea what caused his death, but it wasn't original because we assessed that he was going to live. This is what we had before. They thought he'll die, and then he got better. And they said, okay, now you pay money because he's going to live. And then he died. You pay nezik and tsar l'yoshim. Name is for the moment, and when you pay, not today's price, but the older price. You pay nezik and tsar. The question is the other payments as well. Do you pay them as well or not? So anyway, the bottom line is we followed Nechemia, and Nechemia says we look at if the prognosis then changed to that he'll live, and then the relapses. We don't say it's a hemshech of before. We'll say that this is something happened, and the first guy is totally not responsible.